Hey everyone, I am Anthony Scott of ToyHypeUSA.com. Today I am reviewing the Human Torch figure from Diamond Select Toys, who's offered in their Marvel Select 7-inch scale line. I would like to thank our friends at DST for providing Human Torch for review. Greatly appreciate that. It's been 11 years since the thing was first released in 2010, and fans have been waiting that long for another member of the Fantastic Four. I know I have. I've been waiting year after year, but unfortunately they were never able to deliver it. And I'm sure that has everything to do with the license, which has recently opened up. So they're able to make Fantastic Four characters, just as we've seen other companies do recently. 11 years is a very long time to wait for Marvel's first family. So I, for one, could not be happier that they're finally getting to another member. It's been a very, very long wait, and we're finally able to have halfway through now another member of the Fantastic Four. Who's left is Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman, and I hope that they do another version of Human Torch in his blue outfit, non-flame effect, and I hope to see a couple of versions of Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic, but right now I just want to finish off the core member of the team. So if DST, Zach, and Chuck are watching, please make another figure in 2022. Either Mr. Fantastic or Invisible Woman will do. I don't have a personal preference, but please make it happen. 11 years is a very long time to wait. I've attended shows at San Diego Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con when DST were having their panels, and sometimes a fan would ask, when are we getting another member of the Fantastic Four in the Select line? Well, that day is here. Human Torch is out now, September 2021, so my recommendation is to go out and buy him. You can also buy The Thing, who's also been reissued yet again. I think he's been reissued at least 2 times now, 2015 and most recently, so you can definitely have a chance now to own half the Fantastic Four, which is very cool. And we would greatly appreciate it if you purchase them off our sponsors, off of ToyHypeUSA.com, written portion and photo gallery of this review. Just, we have a list of sponsors right under purchase, so please do that. So, the Human Torch is packaged in a window box. It's standard for the Select line and has some great artwork, especially on the bottom left there, including a classic logo from the comics, which you see right there. And on the side, which you see right here, is an image of the figure that's inside. And the back, you have another look at the figure inside, as well as a description. And on the description, they also give credit to the great people that are responsible for making this figure. Here's your in-hand look at Human Torch. He looks phenomenal. I think they really did a terrific job on him. He features translucent plastic, and most of it is in dark red, indicating that he's burning very hot, while some of the parts on him, sculpted to the body, are given kind of like a light orange translucent plastic, which you see on the chest, the shoulders, the calves, as well as the top of the head here. So let's turn him around, giving you guys a look here. You'll also notice that there's a hole on his back, which is right there, and that's for the base that I'm going to demonstrate how that works. Let's just bring that in a little bit closer. You see that hole there that goes in pretty deep. Taking a closer look at this head sculpt, you see that those great facial details on there. Very nicely done. And on his chest, you even see the Fantastic Four symbol. So this isn't just a sculpted flame, it's also the Fantastic Four logo, which you see there. Here's a closer look at all of his accessories. He includes an interchangeable head from the golden age of Marvel Comics, several interchangeable hands, and a base that comes in 2 parts, which is also considered to be a flying stand for him to be raised up on. And this piece here will just plug into the base as shown. The hands, he comes with a total of 3 sets of interchangeable hands, 2 of which have effects, which are these 2 here. One's a fireball, one's several fireballs being thrown at once, which you see there. A set of closed fisted hands, which you see right here. Open hands, which are in the sockets there. And this little fireball that can be placed right on the open hands. So the base, very easy to put together. You see this has a swivel joint, which is right here, and this would plug into the bottom of the base where you see the hole right in the center there. It's also important to note that the plastic is also translucent on this, and where it's red, it's indicating the hottest spots of the flame, which you also see on the base here, and where it's turning into like an orange yellow, that's the lighter flame. So I'm going to stick that in there. See how you can swivel it around, swivel hinge, which is neat. And he will attach right on this ball joint, right on the end here. Here's a look at Human Torch holding that flame that I mentioned before. This can be held in either one of his open hands, which you see there. You also see the base, which is connected, that I showed you on camera here, and its swivel hinges. You also want to be careful where you leave it, such as if you leave it on a spot like that, you won't be able to have the full range of motion on both sides. So there is that issue with this base, but ultimately most of it does give you a fairly good range of motion. Flame on! Here's a look at the Human Torch's closed-fisted hands. These are very nicely done, and it's very easy to swap out either of the 3 sets of hands. Here's a closer look at that Golden Age head that I mentioned when showing off all the accessories. If you look closely, this has those same sculpted details on there, as does the rest of the body, which you may need me to bring it up a little bit closer. You can get a better look at that. See those sculpted details on there, sculpted lines indicating flames. And you see that on this Golden Age head sculpt here, which also doesn't have the facial details that the other one does. The flames cover that as well. I also swapped out the hand with this fireball, just to give you guys another look at that. Here we have a closer look at those 2 special effect hands that I mentioned earlier on in the video. These effect hands, very nicely done. Really loving how these came out. You see on the tips here where the fire is more red. This indicates the hottest spot of the flames, which is very, very nicely detailed on there. And you see where the flames are coming out of the fingers. So that's definitely an awesome effect. This one is a fireball, and that just is sculpted to the hand. Different than the other fireball that I showed you before. That's just placed on the hand. This one is sculpted to the hand. And you see where the fire is hotter right there. Alright, so here's another look at that base. And I showed you this at the beginning of the video. But to plug in the base, you're going to want to plug it into his back here. You're going to see this hole, which is fairly large, right on his back there. And to do that, you just take the ball joint of the base and just very easily snap it in there. Make sure he's in pretty well. And you can turn him to the side a little bit, get him to position himself, put him in a flight stand, throwing his fireball, for example. And don't forget, you also have this hinge joint here, so you can swivel this around turn it to the side a little bit. There's a lot of different ways to display them. Let's just raise this up so you guys can get a better look. Okay, so a lot of different ways to display them. You can swivel. It's a hinge joint on the base here. 6 different interchangeable hands, 3 on each side, 2 different interchangeable heads, and 1 little fireball. So again, there's a lot of different options to display them. A lot of customability, which is very cool. So just a little recap. Here is another way to position him on the base. You see how he's given his 2 open hands and he's holding on to his fireball, which you see right here, which just fell off. So as I said, this does tend to fall off and it's not really securely inside. So just be aware of that. Here's a look at those closed fisted hands, which you see on him here on the base, as well as another pose for him. And here's another way to display him with the Golden Age head and the right hand flame. So as I said, the sky's the limit to display him. All these interchangeable parts with the base, without the base. You really gotta love all these custom different ways to showcase them. You can buy multiples and display them in various different ways with both heads. Here's a comparison with the Thing and the Human Torch. The Thing, well, this particular Thing was released in 2010 and it's been reissued a few times since. All that great attention to detail on there. I've always particularly liked this one. It's been 11 years, as I said at the beginning of the video, since we've gotten another member of the Fantastic Four, and that's definitely way too long to wait. So I'm hoping that DST comes through, offers Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, possibly next year. We'll just have to wait and see. All I could say is reach out to them and ask. Hopefully they will make it happen sooner rather than later. Human Torch, scale-wise, is excellent with the Thing. They really did a nice job on it. There's a look at the back. Here's another fun way to display the Human Torch, as if he's throwing fireballs at Thing just to mess with them, just as you will remember in the comic, as well as the Fantastic Four animated series, 1994. So there's definitely a lot to love about this figure. I, for one, am so happy to have him finally in this line. Thank you, DST, for making this happen. And as I said a few times now, please finish off this team. It would be the first time in the Marvel Select line where we have a full team of characters. So it would definitely be a historic release to get Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman out there. Thank you again to DST for providing Human Torch for review. Greatly appreciate that. Both Thing, the reissue of Thing, and Human Torch are available right now, September 2021. So my recommendation would be to buy both of them if you don't have the Thing just yet. But if you do, definitely get Human Torch. She's definitely worth it. I love all the interchangeable parts, accessories. There's a lot to love about this figure. And to purchase him, check out our sponsors on toyhypeusa.com. We would greatly appreciate that before you make a purchase. I am Anthony Scott of toyhypeusa.com. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share this video as it tells YouTube to share it with more people. And thank you so much for watching again. Thanks, guys.